Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar. I'm Manoosh from the digital marketing team at 42 Gears. Today's webinar is in collaboration with our rugged device partner, Datalogic. So let me introduce you to our panelists. Joining us today, we have Stephen, Senior Account Manager at 42 Gears, Manoosh, Lead Technical Consultant at 42 Gears, and Saif Bokri, Product Manager at Datalogic. In today's session, we are going to discuss how 42 Gears solution, SureMDM, can seamlessly integrate with Datalogic devices and make them ready to be used right out of the box. Before we begin, I would like to request you to drop any questions you may have during the presentation in the question box panel that's present on the right-hand side of your screen, and we'll answer them. Now I'll let Stephen take over.
Thank you, and good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining this webinar with 42 Gears and Datalogic. Just to give a brief introduction around this webinar, today's webinar will be regarding frontline workers, which will cover across various businesses. These frontline workers will use rugged devices to perform essential business operations in warehouses, inventory, shop floors, logistics, etc. Now, these workers need easy and secure access to devices and apps in order to be productive. As these devices are not always within the office parameters or the four walls, businesses must adopt technologies that will not only help these workers perform their tasks efficiently and effectively, but also help their IT teams to remotely manage these devices to ensure the security. Datalogic are a globally recognized data capture and process automation tools. Datalogic empowers thousands of frontline workers every day to perform their daily tasks easily, thus allowing businesses quick and easy access to these devices via MDM solutions such as 42 Gears. Now, these Datalogic devices will be in the field and they enable the frontline workers with secure access to their applications and data. Before we move on further, I'd like to briefly introduce who 42 Gears are and exactly what we do. So who are we? So for decades, IT controlled desktops was the main productivity tool in enterprises today. Mobile workers no longer want to be tethered down to a locked PC, and it expects IT support to help with these mobile devices and apps to ensure they stay productive regardless of where they are and where they're working. Now, 42 Gears is a leading unified endpoint management provider. 42 Gears solutions help more than 10,000 organizations across 115 plus different countries. We enable our customers to effectively manage their digital workspace and technologies. And what do we do? 42 Gears are pioneers in offering on-premise and SaaS-based mobility solutions. Our OEM solutions, also known as SureMDM, provides the fundamental visibility and IT controls needed to secure, manage and monitor endpoints across the business needs, such as the mobile devices, VR headsets, wearables, rugged devices, things management, also known as dumb devices, which could be printers, scanners, smart battery, smart switches, and other access to business data. Our MDM solution supports both company-owned devices, known as corporate devices, and employee-owned devices, also known as BYOD. And SureMDM operating systems are built across Android, iOS, iPadOS, macOS, Windows including CE and mobile, Linux, and wearable OS platforms. With SureMDM, IT teams can monitor digital infrastructures remotely and then manage the entire life cycle of these devices before and whilst in the field force. So I'd like to tell you a little bit about the Datalogic Partnership with 42 Gears before handing over to Seth to explain a little bit more. So 42 Gears is an official MDM partner of Datalogic. The partnership allows businesses to easily enable frontline workers by streamlining device enrollment, providing secure access to the devices and business apps in the field, enforcing security restrictions, and minimizing device downtime.
Yeah, this is Safe from Datalogic. Happy to be here on this webinar. As the mobility software product manager at Datalogic, one of my responsibilities is to manage third-party software relationships. And one of the business relationships that we have is with 42 Gears. We collaborate with 42 Gears to deliver solutions to our enterprise mobility customers. Now, Datalogic equally works with other MDMs like SODI, AirWatch, and Wavelink, but we certainly have worked closely with 42 Gears for the last 10 years or so. 42 Gears has been with us since before we started manufacturing Android, back when our mobile computers were only running on Windows CE and Windows Mobile, which, as we know now, those are starting to fade away. Our relationship with 42 Gears started a long time ago, like I said, when we started to use some of their products on our devices, namely Sherlock and SureFox, which are two applications developed by 42 Gears for locking down a device. Datalogic made a decision to pre-install Sherlock and SureFox on all of our Android devices, which gives our customers the capability to secure their devices and put them in kiosk mode, for example. And not only we pre-install Sherlock and SureFox, but we also pre-license them with a Datalogic standard license. Datalogic has also become a reseller of 42 Gears SureMDM. SureMDM, of course, is the main topic of this webinar, but Datalogic saw an opportunity in SureMDM as a quality MDM, which fills the need for many of our customers at an interesting price. So we started reselling SureMDM licenses, and we have SureMDM SKUs in our system. So you can buy SureMDM directly from Datalogic together with the hardware. And then last but not least, we ensure that our Datalogic mobile devices are always certified for 42 Gears products. So if you buy a Datalogic mobile device, you have the assurance that it will be compatible out of the box with your 42 Gears software. Here, I just wanted to give you a quick overview of Datalogic Android mobile computers that we have in the market today. So Datalogic has been investing heavily in Android Enterprise over the last couple of years. And this shows through our mobile portfolio today. From left to right, as you see on the screen, you have the Joya Touch device, which is commonly used in self-shopping environments and comes with an interesting locking cradle. Then you have the Memoir 1, which is really a reincarnation of Joya Touch, repurposed to be a black all-purpose entry-level PDA, and it comes with Google mobile services as well. This Memoir 1 device represents the beginning of a Memoir family product line, together with the next two devices. You'll find that we then have the Memoir 10, which is our mid-level PDA, a step up from MR1 with a bigger screen and more processing power. We're seeing a lot of success with MR10, just an all-around great device that can serve in any number of applications and use cases. MR10 was launched last year with Android 8, and we now have an Android 9 update. Then last but not least is the MR20. This is our latest and greatest Android device, our most premium offering that we have just released, in fact. Running on Android 9, comes with very unique features, such as a second display that looks like a pager on top of the device for quickly glancing at notifications, an Ethernet locking dock, fingerprint authentication, just to name a few. And one of our strengths is that all of our devices, in fact, if we stay in the same slide, all of our devices are wireless charging devices, which is a great value add to have wireless charging capability. It offers reliability and convenience, and it eliminates the charging contacts, which can be a point of failure or maintenance. And our devices are also covered by Datalogic Shield service. This is our maintenance service that provides you with ongoing security patches, bug fixes, and OS upgrades, and covers your Datalogic devices for a minimum of 5 years. And then last but not least, I'll just add that our new devices are also certified by the Android Enterprise Recommended program, the AER program. It's an endorsement from Google that certifies that the device has met Google's elevated standards for a recommendable enterprise rugged Android device. So we're very glad to have this stamp from Google, which speaks to the quality of our devices. And this is not it. We have more Android devices coming this year in 2020, some new different devices. So stay tuned for Datalogic announcements later this year.
Thanks, Seth. So the devices which will be in focus for today's demonstration slightly later on will be the MR10, the Joyo Touch device, the IoT Joyo Touch Cradle, and the Smart Battery. So now that you have some idea about our partnership with Datalogic and the devices we're going to demonstrate, let me quickly take you through the challenges faced by IT admins while enabling frontline workers in the field. The first challenge that IT admins teams may face would be the device enrollment. So frontline workers need devices that are configured with their business applications, the peripheral settings, and security policies to ensure they can be productive. Configuring devices in bulk for remote users can obviously be quite a long and strenuous task, which can also be very time consuming for IT admin. 42 Gears can help speed up this process. Another pain point would be the actual management of these devices. Frontline workers typically require only a few business applications that the IT teams must whitelist for them. It is often difficult for IT teams to track the devices on a map or in real time. Configure OEM policies or provide remote support or troubleshoot these device issues. Another pain point would be the actual security of these devices. Identity authentication is a critical step to protect data in apps and devices. IT teams must be able to set up and apply security settings to prevent device misuse and restrict frontline workers from accessing compromised networks. But at the same time, IT teams must have an easy way to track and monitor the firmware updates of the Datalogic devices and be able to push them over the actual air. And then it comes to the productivity. All of the above pain points in turn affect the productivity, it really helps someone to have your back at all times. The mobile device fleet can be remotely monitored continuously to check if the battery levels, device performance, and general wear and tear of these devices. Now, moving on to some of the other benefits, let's take a look at some of how these 42 Gears and Datalogic partnership brings to the table for our customers. So SureMDM managed by Datalogic devices provides IT admins the confidence to onboard the devices easily with multiple flexible onboarding options, configure devices settings, and update these effortlessly. And then the end user result that you'll get, it would be the uncompromised security on the devices, the reduced TCOs with improved maintenance, the reduced downtime of these devices, not having to constantly have them swapped out, which in turn will improve the frontline worker productivity. So now moving forward, I'd now like to introduce Manoosh, our lead technical consultant, who will take us through the onboarding, the management, security, and the remote features of 42 Gears.
Thanks, Stephen, for the introduction. Let me quickly share my screen. Okay. So yeah, it's great to be speaking with you all in today's webinar with Datalogic. So now we shall discuss the details of all the features that SureMDM offers the IT admins. So the first feature is all about device onboarding or device enrollment. So as you know, using SureMDM, right? So we support the below enrollment process. It can be the Google Zero Touch enrollment, or the Android Enterprise enrollment, or the 42 Gears enrollment. So coming to the Google Zero Touch enrollment, so it offers a seamless deployment methods for corporate-owned Android devices, making large-scale rollouts faster, easier, and secure for organization. Zero Touch makes it simple to configure devices online and have them shipped with enforced management, so employees can open the box and get started. On the Android Enterprise enrollment, we have multiple types, the NFC bump, the QR code scanner, or the EMM token. We can go ahead with one of the enrollments, like the NFC bump. Like with this setup method, you just have to bump a new or factory reset device with the NFC tag that contains the setup details provided by SureMDM. The NFC tag can optionally contain details such as Wi-Fi credentials, local time zone, and the custom decliner. So same with the QR code. With this setup, you just scan a QR code provided by SureMDM to enroll a device from a device setup wizard. So from the device setup wizard, you just tap 6 times, you get a QR code scanner, and you just scan the QR code and you just get started with it. Similarly, with the EMM token, you can use the provided token in the device setup wizard and get started. Coming on to the 42 Gears enrollment, yes, we have multiple options when it comes to enrollment. So the first option here is the one-touch enrollment. This is done using the enterprise agent, so wherein you configure the enterprise agent and it does everything automatically. And the QR code scanner, it's similar where you just scan a QR code from the Nix agent and you just enroll your device. And the last is the manual enrollment, where you punch in the account ID from your SureMDM console, and you just start enrolling your devices. And it must be noted that Zero Touch enrollment is supported only on Datalogic devices running on Android 8 or above. Let's move on to the device configuration. that's about the Datalogic OEM config that we would be talking. So SureMDM supports a configuration and remote installation of pre-configured OEM config apps on Datalogic devices right from a centralized web console. So OEM config makes Android management incredibly easy by reducing the fragmentation existing across OEMs with OS adoption. It offers a standardized way of configuring and implementing device settings on Android devices. With Datalogic OEM config, SureMDM can provide zero-day support for all Datalogic features. Support for Android Enterprise ensures that the configuration are consistently applied over the entire fleet of devices. Admins must note, in order to use OEM config in SureMDM, Android Enterprise should be enabled. So in the end, I will show you how to configure OEM config apps on Android devices using a SureMDM demo. And the configuration that you could do from a Datalogic OEM config can be something like system settings, so wherein you can set the date and time, or you can change the language, or when it comes to network setting, you can enable the airplane mode, mobile network, Bluetooth configurations. Moving on to the management of a Datalogic device. So SureMDM makes managing Datalogic rugged device easy by supporting Android Enterprise features. IT admins can lock down Datalogic rugged device and prevent user from tampering or misusing the devices. It enables admin to install, update, and uninstall applications remotely and silently on enrolled Datalogic devices. SureMDM allows IT admins to track the real-time location of their device fleet. Admins can track the location history of the device and generate tracking reports. Admins can even generate reports of any data fields such as battery health, location tracking, or even scheduling the customized or on-demand reports. On the management, I just want to give you an overview of the things management architecture that's in place. So where we manage the Datalogic peripherals. So now, as you know, the 42gas can now also help you manage connected objects using the things management technology. 42gas has developed a framework that allows you to manage this not so smart endpoints by introducing smart logic at the host machine level, which performs the role of a proxy of this endpoints. So if you see on the diagram, right, so we have a host device. So this host device can be a Datalogic device, and we install the Nix agent under things connector. And the things connector communicates, and so the thing device here, it can be the Datalogic smart batteries, or the cradle, or even the Datalogic scanner. So you could start managing them from the SureMDM web console. IT admins can leverage this technology on the SureMDM platform to manage Datalogic peripherals and connected devices such as Jira Touch Slot Cradle and smart batteries. 42gas SureMDM offers features to remotely control and manage things or things connector, like the printer, cradle, etc., which do not run on any other platform. And it can be managed remotely with the help of things connector by introducing a smart logic onto the host machine level. Businesses using Jira Touch single slot cradle can use 42gas things management capabilities. These are a few examples that we have mentioned, like controlling LED brightness and switching it on or off, enable or disable fast charging, lock or unlock the cradle, or determine whether the parent device is in the cradle or not. On the next slide, we will talk about the smart batteries. So businesses using smart batteries can use 42gas things management technology to estimate the time required for a battery to be completely discharged, or monitoring the battery health, or estimating the full capacity of the battery in mAh, or estimate the remaining capacity of the battery in mAh. So I will demonstrate these features in a bit when we move on to the demo session. Next most important aspect of our webinar today is the security. SureMDM allows IT admins to enforce security and restriction policies such as disabling peripheral settings, safe mode, factory reset, and so on, thereby maintaining compliance. With SureMDM, IT admins can push password policies and restrictions to devices, which in turn forces the user to use a strong password and change it periodically. Admins can monitor and update firmwares over the air for Datalogic devices. The compliance job feature in SureMDM can be used to protect device from vulnerabilities. Admins can configure compliance rules such as jailbreaking, SIM card change, password compliance, and proactively trigger specific measures like blacklisting the device or wiping data of the device. So wiping the data of a device helps protect data in case the device is lost or misplaced. Every large device deployment needs a little bit of support with resolving issues in the field, and that's why remote support is important. Frontline workers often work in shifts and share the same devices in the field. Continuous use of this device in the field can cause a lot of wear and tear. Sometimes the device have to be monitored continuously to track their battery health. SureMDM offers world-class support feature to troubleshoot any issues with the device in the field. Remote support feature minimizes device downtime caused due to tampering of device settings. It allows admins to take total remote control of the device, including the touch events to effectively troubleshoot device. So admins can view and control the device, browse device files and folders, change device settings, troubleshoot device with remote control functionality. You can remotely locate, lock, reboot, or wipe the device. So over to you, Saif, to talk more about the Datalogic configuration tools.
Thanks, Manoosh. So here I just wanted to kind of highlight what's new from the Datalogic side. Earlier, I've given an overview of our devices already, but here I want to talk about some new tools and software that could be interesting to you. Manoosh had talked about enrolling a device using a QR code. Datalogic has recently released a new tool called the Datalogic Android Enterprise QR Code Generator. As you may guess, this is a tool that generates QR code for enrolling your device in Android Enterprise. Now, you can already generate such a barcode from SureMDM itself. Why did we bother to create this? Well, it's quite simple. This tool complements SureMDM, or any MDM in fact. We saw that the QR codes generated by the MDMs are not encrypted. So you end up with a unencrypted QR code. And when talking to enterprise customers, we found out that many of them have a problem with the QR code that is not encrypted because they want to make sure that the information on the barcode is secure and no one can read it. So this is where the Datalogic QR Generator tool comes into play. It encrypts the QR code. You can rest assured that no one will steal your Wi-Fi password from your QR code. And additionally, the tool allows you to create advanced Wi-Fi configuration in your barcode that the typical MDM QR code cannot do. Typically, they only allow you to have a basic SSID information, WPA2 and web. And you can embed other settings in this QR code as well. For more information, you can visit our datalogic.github.io website, and over there you will find this tool. And now I will talk about another new tool that we have. So last year we also released a desktop utility called Scan to Deploy Studio. And this is our GUI-based tool that walks you through configuring your device. Some smaller customers may not need the scalability and investment of an MDM, so they resort to their device manufacturer for a freemium configuration tool. For example, Zebra has Stage Now, Honeywell has Enterprise Provisioner. Well, this is our free Android configuration tool at Datalogic, Scan to Deploy Studio. It's actually quite feature rich. You can do most anything you need with it. from setting up the Wi-Fi on the device to configuring the barcode scanner, installing applications, updating firmware, etc. And this tool actually comes as a successor to our legacy configuration tool, DXU, in case some of you are familiar with DXU. So this is our new and improved solution. And for more information, again, you can go to datalogic.github.io, where you will find our Datalogic mobile software documentation, and then browse for Scan to Deploy Studio, and you will find this tool there, and you can download it. And last but not least, just so that you're aware of what else is available to you as a resource, we launched a new Datalogic developer website, which is essentially like a website dedicated for Datalogic mobile software. We listened to our customers and understood that there is a need for a developer portal. So we went ahead and launched a new Datalogic developer website. This is a new awesome resource available to you. If you're a Datalogic mobility customer, you must be familiar with this website, as it is quite resourceful and quite helpful. On this website, you will find our Datalogic SDK, our various Android SDK and Windows SDK from Datalogic to help you write your own tools and applications. You will find our tools, internal and third-party tools. You will even find information about 42 Gears software there. A big part of this website is a technical discussion board where you can go pose a technical question to Datalogic and we will get it answered quickly. Additionally, on this website, you can download our mobile firmware as well as other material like white papers, etc. If you're a Datalogic partner or end user, I highly encourage you to visit the website. It's developer.datalogic.com. You can sign in using the same partner credentials you have if you're an existing partner to Datalogic. Otherwise, you can simply register an account in about 5 seconds. Back to you, Manoosh.
Thanks, Eve, for that. And now let us move on to the demo session where we would be demonstrating the features that we discussed in our slides. So this is the SureMDM portal, and I have already had the username and password. And if you are new, you can always go into the 42 Gears website, just click on the free trial, and you can register for your SureMDM account. So just let me log into the SureMDM console. And once you log into the SureMDM console, I'll just give you a quick overview of what do we have in the SureMDM console. So if you see here on the left-hand side is the grouping where you group your devices based on your cost center or your region. And in the center is where you see your device grid. So I have a bunch of devices. That's the Joya Touch, Memo 10, Memo 20, then the things devices, the scanner, the smart battery, and the cradle. And on the right-hand side, you see is the quick action settings. So you just select a device and you do a quick action like a remote support. We will see how does exactly work. And apart from that, you have the information panel where you get the device information, network, battery, and the memory management over here. So the first task would be to enroll a device. So if you have to do Android enterprise enrollment, so you just go into the profile section. As I said in my slides, yes, so you have to enroll into Android Enterprise. That comes over here. And so once it is successfully enrolled, you can create a QR code generator. So once I click on the QR code generator, you have the QR code. So now what I could do is I can just scan this QR code. So you just unbox the device. On the setup wizard, you tap 6 times and you get a QR code scanner, and you just scan this QR code. So once you scan this QR code, you just click on next. It will automatically install the Nix agent. And once it is successfully configured with the configuration, and then you could be able to see the device in the home or to a particular group. So once the enrollment is completed, so now let's go one by one on the features that we spoke on the slides. So like for example, like I have a Memo 10 device and remote control or remotely troubleshooting those devices is very important. So I just select the device and I take a remote of the device. So in the remote control, as I said earlier, you would be able to take complete control of this device, and you can even do the touch event. So currently, I have this device in our UK office, and I'm just trying to control this device from here as an IT admin. And on the right hand side is you can see the file store, basically the file manager. You can upload and download the contents from here, and you have the task manager as well. And apart from that, you could take the screenshot, you could do some settings changes, all those activities can be done over here. And on the coming on to the things management, that what we could do. So once I click on the things management, you could see there are a few things related information that pops up here. Like for example, for the things JOAS scanner, I can enable the symbologies. Like I can set up whether I want to do it Aztec or a code 128. So those kind of configuration, I can set it. I can see the good read intervals, then the good read volume. So those kind of options we can control from SureMDM and apply it across. And onto the smart batteries, you could see here what is the health of the smart battery over here, and what is the battery remaining, and what's the battery capacity. And onto the Cradle that we have, like the most widely used feature for any Cradle is the firmware update. So the firmware update is like if you have the firmware update, you can push it from the SureMDM console. So you just click on to the firmware. If you have a path or you have a URL, you can just upload it and just push it onto those devices. And at the same time, if you want to lock or unlock the Cradle from the device, so basically you could do it from here. You can lock it and unlock it. And you could see what's the current firmware version on the Cradle, and you could even get the insertion count, like how many times you have kept the device on the dock. So that's about this. So let me quickly move on to and talk about more on the OEM config part, right? So if I go into the profiles, as my the console is enrolled into Android Enterprise. So now let me click on the add, and I'll directly go into the application policy. Apart from that, we have the other important features like the password policy or the system settings that you could enable and disable from the SureMDM console. So let me go on to the application policy, click on configure, and you just have to click on add and go for play for work. So once you go on to the play for work, let's search for Datalogic OEM config. And there you have the first option, that's the Datalogic OEM config. And on the OEM config, you could see, I'm just selecting the Datalogic OEM config. So this would open the managed configuration. And let me give it a name, right? And over here, there is a big list of features. It can be the network settings or the system settings or the power settings that we have. And you can always enable and disable those features. For example, if I have to search for system settings, right? So we have the system settings over here, and you have the date and time, and you can enable and disable these options. And at the same time, you can select the time zone according to your requirement, and you just click on save. So once the configuration is completed, you can save this file, and you can just say install silently, click on next, and you have the app permission, click on finish, and let's give a name to this profile. And save it. Okay, So once we have created this, right, so you can always ask me, okay, how do I push this profile to a device? So it's pretty much simple. You go to the home, you select your device or a group of device. We have the option to click on apply. And once you click on apply, this would list you all the jobs and profiles that we have selected. And you just click on apply on this device. So once we apply, you could see the status would change from the in progress, pending, in progress, and it would change to successfully deployed. That's when you can see it onto the device side, the configuration changes, if we have done any configuration changes onto the device. And at the same time, we spoke about the location tracking feature. The location tracking is like if you want to locate any particular device, you just turn on the location, just say okay, and yeah. So once the red icon over here changes to green icon, that's when it gets the first location, and you can just start locating those devices. And onto the quick action buttons. So we have other important features apart from the remote support, wherein you can reboot the device, you can send a message to the device, you can wipe the device, you can check the data usage of the device, you can remotely bust the device. So these are some pretty cool features. And as Saif mentioned, we have the SureLock and the SureFox configuration that you could push it from the SureMDM console as well. And we have the job section in the SureMDM console where you can configure your Android devices. Like you could, so I'll just touch upon the important ones over here, like the install application. You can install an application, you can do a file transfer, you can send text message, you can push notification policy, you can push security policy. And the important ones would be like the geofence. If you have a field force and you want to have your own geofence for a particular region, you can have your geofence with a fence enter or a fence exited job as well. So I'll just move on to the last part. We have a robust reporting structure. It can be the on-demand reports or the custom reports. So you can generate your asset tracking or your jobs deployed or the device health report or the data usage report. So you could do it from here. So you just select and you just request for a report, and you just go to the view report section and you can view your system logs over here. So that's that was a quick overview of what we have in offering with the Datalogic devices. And with that, we come to the end of this demo. And the next one would be the Q&A session, I guess. So let's see if we have any questions.
So if you haven't already added any questions to the question box, now is your time. We'll give everyone some time to ask the questions that they may have.
So we will just wait for a couple of minutes and see if we have any questions coming across. Okay, so I have the first question over here. So it says that can we do user management for admin or a sub admin within the SureMDM console? Yes, that's a great question. Yes, we do support user management. If I can take you back to the SureMDM console. Um, so over here, you just go into the account settings, and within the account settings, sorry, it's not in the account setting, apologies. So you have to just go into the user management, and within the user management, you can set up your users, roles, and which particular device group he can have the access, and what particular jobs or profile sets. So yeah, you could completely customize the whole user management according to your requirement. Hope that answers your question. Okay, so I have one more question that says, can we integrate SureMDM APIs with third-party application? The answer is yes. We can integrate with third-party applications, so using the API key. And if you need the API key, you can just from the SureMDM console, you can just go into the account settings and just scroll down into the account management, and you would be able to get the API key over there. Okay, so I don't see any more questions in the question panel. So with that, we come to the end of this webinar. So if you have any more questions, please feel free to send us an email at webinars@42guests.com, or you can visit our website at www.42guests.com. Thank you, everyone. If you would like to rewatch completely of this webinar, we will upload it into the YouTube and Qdes. Thank you.